What's going on with Antarctica?
Nazi UFOs.
The Nazis.
The Nazis had a flying saucer. The Nazis made a deal with the aliens?
Yes.
I feel like I've heard of that.
Antarctica, a land full of mysteries, is no stranger to intriguing theories. Rumors about UFOs and alien bases have been flying around since the 1930s. Some sources believe that Hitler tried to build military bases there and succeeded. But what mysteries lie in these lands yet to be unraveled? There are various theories about Antarctica. We don't claim all the answers, but we will tell you what we know. Let's begin by time traveling to the year 1946. We are on Operation Highjump, exploring Antarctica. Aliens. In August 1946, esteemed U.S. naval officer and explorer Admiral Richard Byrd organized Operation Highjump, the largest expedition ever traveling to Antarctica. The massive undertaking involved 13 ships, 23, and over 4,700 military personnel. Initially planned for 4 months, the mission had a list of military goals to achieve from December to March. However, by the end of February, something unexpected occurred, which would later be revealed through Admiral Byrd's private diary. One of the official goals of Operation Highjump was to investigate sites for potential military bases in Antarctica. During his explorations, Admiral Byrd allegedly stumbled upon something extraordinary. According to his unpublished diary, discovered by his son after his death, Byrd had heard of an entrance to the center of the Earth through the South Pole. Intrigued, he flew planes under the pole, only to discover a temperate, lush and green area, defying all expectations. This was just the beginning of his remarkable story. As Byrd's squadron flew into the Earth, they encountered a shimmering, crystal-made rainbow city. Their airplane was taken control of by flying disc-shaped objects, leading them to a cavernous area where Byrd met a being he referred to as the Master. The Master expressed deep disappointment in humanity's use of nuclear weapons, citing the recent destruction of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. They urged Byrd to convey their concerns, hoping humanity would cease this destructive path, as it threatened not only human existence, but also the well-being of the planet, which they too considered their own. For UFO researchers, Admiral Byrd's account is particularly significant, given the timing of the modern UFO era, which began after World War II and the first atomic bomb detonations. The story aligns with numerous reports of angelic or extraterrestrial beings expressing concern over nuclear weapons. Notably, a high number of UFO sightings have been reported near nuclear missile silos, with some Air Force officers even claiming that extraterrestrial beings have disarmed their silos, highlighting the shared concern for the planet's safety. If Admiral Byrd's secret diary is authentic, it reveals not only the existence of highly advanced beings living inside the Earth, but also their monitoring of surface activities. After the encounter, Byrd was eager to share his story, but upon returning, he was taken to a government compound and ordered to remain silent, with all his statements classified. This secrecy has only added to the intrigue surrounding Operation Highjump and Admiral Byrd's extraordinary experience. If Admiral Byrd's secret diary is authentic, it reveals not only the existence of highly advanced beings living inside the Earth, but also their monitoring of surface activities. After the encounter, Byrd was eager to share his story, but upon returning, he was taken to a government compound and ordered to remain silent, with all his statements classified. This secrecy only adds to the mysterious puzzle surrounding Operation Highjump and Admiral Byrd's extraordinary experience. Another puzzling piece surrounds the question of ancient civilizations. Ancient civilizations. Today, Antarctica is considered a vast, desolate desert, home to strange animals and very few humans, who are, at best, temporary residents. Despite its current inhospitable nature, recent discoveries by NASA are pointing to the possibility that Antarctica may have once been inhabited by ancient civilizations. As more of the ice sheets melt, experts believe that many of the once buried secrets of Antarctica are slowly being revealed. For example, NASA satellite images have captured an unusual area some 1.5 miles beneath the surface, showcasing what could be a possible human settlement. The images show strange markings that appear man-made, as if structures once stood there. In the images, you can make out squares and canals of some sort, and some even suggest the presence of a pyramid-shaped structure. Many archaeologists believe that if this is evidence of human settlement, there could be much more hiding beneath the thick ice sheets of the region. The question remains, how could such an inhospitable climate have accommodated life? One theory suggests that Antarctica was once a flourishing and green land, or at least not as cold or covered in snow as we see it now. Some theories even propose that it could have been the location of the mythical island of Atlantis. And if so, other civilizations could have existed in the area as well. One piece of evidence pointing to the possibility of Antarctica being once inhabited is the Piri Reis map. This map, credited to the Turkish admiral Piri Reis, is believed to be a copy of various ancient maps assembled sometime in the 1500s. It shows the landmass of Antarctica located more towards the east than it is now, and with less snow and ice coverage. In the book Maps of the Ancient Sea Kings, Dr. Charles Hapgood published the Piri Reis map, which shocked many due to its accurate depiction of Antarctica's coastline without any ice. When the map was first discovered, a Turkish naval officer sent it to the US Navy Hydrographic Bureau in 1953 for examination. The chief engineer, M.I. Walters, then sent the map to Arlington Mallory to verify its accuracy. Mallory stated that the map was indeed correct and could have been copied from another map that was more than 6,000 years old. The Piri Reis map's depiction of Antarctica's coastline is remarkably accurate, matching what the coastline looks like underneath the ice today. Seismic sounding and sonar were used to create a map of the coastline and mountain ranges of Antarctica beneath the ice, and this accurately matched the details shown on the Piri Reis map. Considering that the ice cap in the same region now measures up to a mile thick, it is a puzzle how anyone in the past could have mapped the coastline of the region before it was covered in ice. Even if there is proof of ancient civilizations found, the question still remains. What kind of people once thrived in such an area, and what happened to them? If they were there, it is only a matter of time before we uncover more about their existence and the mysteries they left behind. Did the Nazis really build a military base in Antarctica? Secret government bases. One of the most unusual entries in this collection is the idea that secret Nazi bases, and even a super fortress, were built by the Nazis somewhere in Antarctica. This theory was originally proposed by a Hungarian exile from Argentina named De La Szabo in 1947. He suggested that German ships, such as the Wabenland, had traveled to Antarctica in 1938 and established a base for the Nazis there. According to Szabo, Hitler had survived the war, and U-boats that docked in Argentina during that time had transported the dictator to this secret base. What makes this story unusual is that much of it is based on factual events, though the existence of the secret base remains unproven. The timeline and actions described by Szabo coincide with known Nazi activities. There are several versions of the story. One of the simpler versions suggests that the Germans created a hidden base in the cold region, and that some Nazis hid there for years following their defeat in World War II. More extreme versions claim that the Nazis encountered alien life or technology in Antarctica and built their base around these discoveries. Believers in this theory argue that the base is not just a refuge for escaping Nazis, but also contains super weapons, preparing them to fight back in the future. Conspiracy theorists further add that in the years following the war, submarines brought food, clothing, and fuel to the shelter. The base remained nameless, and its coordinates were kept a secret. Zev O points out that although there are no images or photos, eyewitness testimony, such as that from German naval commander Admiral Dönitz, adds credibility to the story. Admiral Dönitz, who served as president for a month in 1945, claimed during the Nuremberg trials that the Nazis had successfully created an invulnerable fortress, a paradise-like oasis in the middle of eternal ice. The prolonged presence of both American and British military forces in Antarctica around 1947 only added fuel to the story. Some claimed that both the US and Britain attempted to attack the secret base several times, but failed to destroy it. It was only after supposedly dropping 3 atom bombs over the base in 1958 that they finally succeeded. The rumor of a Nazi base in Antarctica has been around for decades, with articles and books published by many conspiracy theorists. The story resurfaced in 2017 when US Secretary of State John Kerry visited Antarctica. Those who proposed the theory suggested that he did so to examine the remains of the secret base. Over the years, neo-Nazi writers have claimed that the Nazis survived the attacks by coalition forces and are biding their time to re-emerge when the time is right from their Antarctic base. For now, we will just have to wait and see. Discussions about civilizations in Antarctica never seem to go away. How can we explain pyramids peeking through ice? Pyramids. In 2016, the internet was flooded with an image of what appeared to be a pyramid structure emerging from an ice-covered location. This structure is said to be located 10 miles inland. According to the story, a team of 8 explorers found evidence of 3 man-made pyramid structures just peeking through the thick, frozen Antarctic ice. However, the entire story about the pyramid or any other findings by the team has not been fully disclosed. Only pieces of the story, including supposed pictures, have been leaked, suggesting that these are indeed pyramids beneath the ice. If true, this discovery could change our perception of Antarctica and rewrite human history. A prime example of pyramids is those found in Egypt. While many modern Egyptologists suggest that the Giza structures were built around 2,000 to 3,000 years ago, other Egyptologists believe the pyramids are much older. Some estimate that the Great Sphinx, for instance, could be as old as 10,000 years. Experts who have examined these pyramids note that the climate in the area changed from rainy and hot to an overwhelming desert over several thousand years. Signs of water erosion on the Sphinx provide evidence that it must have been there longer than 2,000 to 3,000 years. Of course, there are skeptics who do not believe the structures in Antarctica are pyramids at all. Instead, they argue that these are natural mountains that have eroded over time. The pyramid shapes are located in the Ellsworth Range, an area known for its rich fossilized remains, including trilobite fossils, creatures that lived about 500 million years ago. Geologists point out that pyramid-shaped mountains can occur naturally, citing freeze-thaw erosion as a possible cause. They also draw parallels to the Matterhorn and the Alps, where similar natural structures have formed. Moreover, skeptics argue that the area where the supposed pyramid is located is close to a popular mountain frequently climbed by adventurers. If it were indeed a pyramid, others would have noticed it already. Today, the verdict is still out on whether these structures are true pyramids or natural formations. There has been no update on whether an expedition is planned to investigate and provide definitive proof. It might be a while before we get true answers. The idea that alien objects are confined to Earth is a misconception. Alien spacecraft can also be found in space, though they are more difficult to detect. Alien spacecraft. This is Oumuamua, the first interstellar object discovered flying through the solar system. As soon as it was found, people put forward various theories about its origin, suggesting it could either have a natural but unknown origin or be an alien spacecraft. The first sighting of Oumuamua occurred in 2017, thanks to powerful telescopes. Its hyperbolic orbit, indicating an extrasolar origin, set it apart from the familiar asteroids. Oumuamua was Earth's first visitor from outer space. It was discovered on October 19, 2017, by Robert Werrick using the Pan-STARRS telescope in Hawaii. Oumuamua has intrigued scientists due to its unusual characteristics. It is elongated in shape. Estimates suggest it could be up to 1,000 meters long and 35 meters wide. It has a reddish hue that is common with other objects in the outer solar system. One unique distinguishing departure from the ordinary comet is that it lacked a cloud of gas and dust. However, it exhibited non-gravitational acceleration. This non-gravitational acceleration has been attributed to outgassing or solar radiation pressure. Despite these intriguing findings, skepticism remained prevalent. Scientists continually presented new arguments supporting the notion that Oumuamua was a natural object. This skepticism persisted until additional data was revealed, showing that Oumuamua unexpectedly accelerated, moving in a manner inconsistent with typical natural objects. Initially, this behavior was attributed to cometary activity, but this theory was later dismissed as no cometary tail features were detected in the data. This led to the speculation that Oumuamua might indeed be a real alien spacecraft or some form of extraterrestrial satellite. It's a pity that Oumuamua is now situated far away, making it impossible to fly closer for a more detailed study. If I were to suggest that the Earth is really flat, it might seem just as outlandish as the theories about Oumuamua. Meanwhile, something else, just as outlandish, was found in Peru. The mysterious mummies of Peru. In 2017, a large-scale excavation took place in Peru, during which researchers discovered numerous mummies. While the majority of these mummies were typical and did not differ significantly from others, a portion of them stood out as incredibly interesting. These mummies had a unique composition, looking distinctly different from any other specimens. Scientists even stated that these specimens were not part of our terrestrial evolution. One particularly notable mummy was a female, standing about 5 feet, 7 inches tall. According to various analyses, her age exceeded 11,000 years. She lacked ears and had a prolonged skull, and her DNA did not resemble human DNA. Even without being an experienced scientist, one could look at her appearance and understand that the mummy had nothing to do with human beings. Despite initial interest, the scientific community eventually lost interest in these mummies. Some people began to suspect that they were elaborate fakes designed to confuse scientists and give them false hope of contact with an alien world. However, about 6 years later, interest in these mummies was reignited. It turned out that someone had continued researching them and concluded that they had a natural origin, meaning they were not made for a prank. Many highly technological analyses were conducted, all of which confirmed this statement. At a recent conference, scientists reached a consensus and decided to resume their studies. It is quite probable that soon we will learn something new about these mummies. From their appearance, it seems more likely that these creatures originated from another planet. We have a psychological term to describe when people begin to see imaginary objects. We call it a hallucination, but often we fail to see the truth in plain sight. This is true of UFO crash. In 2018, Secure Team 10 posted a video revealing a UFO. According to the report, a strange object looked to have crashed into the snow and ice. The object slid across the ground and left a trail in its wake. Observant viewers found the alleged UFO on Google Earth. It was located on South Georgia Island in the South Atlantic Ocean, slightly over 800 miles south of the Falklands. The video garnered over 760,000 views in minutes. The video shows evidence of a UFO crash landing in Antarctica, allegedly captured through Google Earth. The satellite image taken near the coast of Antarctica and the Atlantic Ocean, off South George Island, appears to show a mountainous, snowy area disrupted by a large, unidentified block. A trail is visible behind the object, which seems short at first glance. However, upon zooming out, a longer trail leading back to the mountain peak becomes apparent. If indeed a UFO, it seems to have initially hit the mountain before sliding down the snow to a halt. The UFO is an elongated cigar-shaped object, now covered in ice and snow. The object's trail and final resting place are clearly visible in the image, fueling speculation about its origins. It's worth noting that the channel behind the video has a less than stellar reputation, with accusations from conspiracy theorists of creating sensationalist, poorly researched content. Nevertheless, some believe the channel might be onto something. Interestingly, this isn't the first reported UFO crash in Antarctica. Another image, showing a supposed crashed UFO buried in the smooth snow, measuring approximately 65 feet wide and 230 feet long, also features a long trail behind the structure. What's more, the image appears to show an array of tanks guarding the site, raising questions about a potential cover-up. While the authenticity of these claims is unverified, they contribute to ongoing speculation about the possibility of extraterrestrial life and potential cover-ups by unknown forces. The question remains, could there be truth hidden behind these controversial claims, or are they merely the product of sensationalism? This one is very controversial. The pendant of one of the pharaohs. Tutankhamun's pendant. In 1922, the tomb of the famous pharaoh Tutankhamun was unearthed, revealing a plethora of decorations that, while expected, did not surprise the scientific community. However, one particular artifact stood out, leaving scientists speechless: a pendant containing a piece of Libyan desert glass LDG. For the uninitiated, LDG is a type of glass found globally, originating from yellow rock. Notably, the LDG discovered in Egypt has a distinctly different composition, sparking intense debate among researchers. For nearly a century, scientists have argued over the origin of this unique glass. Theories have ranged from its formation through lightning strikes on sand and soil to the possibility of it being created by ancient, now extinct volcanoes, or even shaped by a powerful meteorite explosion in the air. By the end of the 20th century, it was determined that the glass from the Tutankhamun pendant was over 30 million years old. Further investigation revealed that the raw material consisted of quartz grains covered in a mixture of clay, iron, and titanium oxides. While we acknowledge the impressive development of ancient Egyptian civilization, as evident in their pyramids, the creation of the Tutankhamun pendant remains perplexing for lack of adjectives. We cannot help but speculate about the possibility of extraterrestrial involvement, suggesting that the material might have been a gift from another world to the pharaoh. This speculation stems from the fact that scientists have been unable to explain how the glass was created, given that it would have required an oven with a temperature of approximately 5,500 degrees Fahrenheit. A technological feat impossible for the time, the investigation into the Tutankhamun pendant, much like the study of the colossal stone head, seems to be an endless pursuit. The allure of these legendary artifacts, including the Tutankhamun pendant, continues to fascinate. However, there are numerous other, lesser-known, yet equally puzzling discoveries waiting to be explored and understood. This next discovery is very disturbing: a colossal stone head in Guatemala. Colossal stone head. The colossal stone head from Guatemala, discovered half a century ago deep in the jungle, quickly drew attention. However, due to a lack of information, interest waned, and the artifact was largely forgotten. Part of the head had been damaged, either by natural conditions or by vandals, which further contributed to its obscurity. The excitement surrounding the find was rekindled when a film about the ancient Maya tribe was released, featuring a shot of the stone head. Despite its damaged state, the artifact captured the public imagination once again. People turned to ancient literature in search of references to the stone head, but found none. It became clear that the various peoples who inhabited the region believed the head was created by their ancestors, who in turn believed the same. This cycle of attribution suggested that the creators of the head were not human at all. Some speculated that the stone carvers were aliens, as no one else could have possessed such advanced skills. Additionally, the face depicted on the head did not resemble any of the native residents, lending further credence to the theory of extraterrestrial involvement. Is the Earth really round? Centuries ago, this question would have puzzled everyone. Is the Earth really round? In the popular series Game of Thrones, one of the primary storylines revolves around the Wall, a massive man-made structure designed to keep the sinister White Walkers from entering Westeros. However, real-life flat earthers believe in a similar concept: an actual ice wall surrounding the Earth, which they claim is located in what we know as Antarctica. Flat earthers argue that the Earth is not a sphere, but a flat plane. They point to several reasons to support their belief. First, they claim that images showing the curved horizon of Earth are fake, and they view photos of the round Earth from space as part of a large conspiracy orchestrated by NASA and specialized government agencies. For them, the Earth is flat, and the Sun and Moon orbit the Earth, lighting it in certain parts and creating day and night. One of the most unusual beliefs among flat earthers is the idea that there is an ice wall kept secret from the rest of the world by nefarious government forces. They assert that Antarctica is not a continent, but the outer edge of Earth's wall. They claim that ordinary people are prevented from ever reaching Antarctica to discover this truth. In 2020, a group of flat earthers announced plans to take a cruise around Antarctica to search for the ice wall and prove their belief correct once and for all. Members of the Flat Earth Society say that this wall is several thousand feet thick and could tower up to 160 feet high, surrounding the entire planet. Details for the 2020 trip were kept under wraps, but many expressed excitement, bafflement, and a desire to join the journey. According to a YouGov survey, about 52% of people who believe the Earth is flat consider themselves incredibly religious. However, the majority of Americans still believe the Earth is round. with only about 4% subscribing to the flat Earth theory. Interestingly, the majority of flat earthers are between 18 and 24 years old. Whether there is indeed an ice wall in Antarctica remains to be seen. We will need to wait to see if flat earthers can prove their beliefs correct or ultimately disprove them in the coming years. Thank you all for joining us as we continue to learn about the history of evidence and science. If you found this informative, please like, subscribe, and share. In the comments, let us know which strange discovery shocked you most. Stay tuned for more stories that reveal hidden truths from around the world.